Moving on to the deal of the week, the live shopping platform Whatnot just announced an up round, a $265 million Series E fundraise co-led by Greycroft, DST Global, and Avra Capital, which brought its valuation up to around $5 billion, which is up from its last funding round in 2022. Eric, you have been mixed signals on the live shopping market, but here it is.
I'd written them off, I think. I mean, Pop Shop, was a disaster. TikTok is ubiquitous. I did pull up the Google Trends, and Whatnot, held strong, and then recently had a strong uptick, though. Strong upticks around funding rounds are always extremely suspicious, but it still feels resilient. It's not a company that's sort of like fallen away from at least my quick Google trend search. I mean, you were making what I thought was the most interesting point about what happens if TikTok gets banned.
Right. Well, TikTok, so as a avid TikTok user, full disclosure.
TikTok, both of us are obsessives, I think. Yeah.
Regretful obsessives, if you will. The shopping feature on TikTok, the TikTok Shop, offers some live shopping features, and live shopping is something that obviously has some audience in the United States if Whatnot is raising this great round, but it's much more popular in Asia and other countries. TikTok Shop does offer some live shopping, so Whatnot does compete with them in some way.
Right. TikTok was subsidizing their shopping like a ton, I think, like over Christmas.
Oh, absolutely. The deals on there were unethically low, I will say.
Well, they just want you to do one and then, maybe, I mean, that it makes you wonder, right? Like, why does Whatnot need this much money? And like, maybe one of the answers is they need to be able to discount at the level of TikTok to get people to try it. I assume there's some social media spend, but it is crazy in a moment where we're sort of in a downturn outside of AI, where
and in particular consumer downtown.
Hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And people are saying, oh, you can run your company with, just you and, ChatGPT, that a marketplace would raise this much money is amazing to me.
Well, Whatnot does compete with TikTok, particularly on the TikTok Shop feature. If TikTok does end up getting banned at the Supreme Court, then Whatnot would be in a position to take up some of that market share. So a degree of this funding round feels almost advantageous that it's coming at this moment.
You think the management's like, hey, there's a 20% chance TikTok gets banned. You get a great investment if that happens.
It's trending. It seems a little more uncertain than maybe it did a couple months ago that the ban is actually going to go through. But
obviously, one of the largest Trump donors this cycle was also one of the biggest shareholders in TikTok. And I think everybody thinks that's going to have a big influence on it. It would be funny if, Mark Andreessen, who's Andreessen Horowitz, is an investor in this round and an investor earlier and Whatnot, tried to pull strings to the opposite, but I doubt it happens. And I bet TikTok stays and Whatnot has to fight a fair fight to win over video shoppers.
Eric, you bet TikTok lives another day. Is that your 2025 prediction?
Yeah, I mean, just like, man, my position, which I stand by, is that the U.S. should enforce reciprocity with China. And it's not about being Chinese particularly manipulating the U.S., but it's just like, if they have companies here, we should have social media companies there. If they can manipulate us, we'll manipulate you. And it's the lack of reciprocity that is my issue. So at the current moment, I support a TikTok ban. That said, it would be a political disaster. I feel like politicians understand this, and they're not even quite in touch with the demographic that would go insane if TikTok were banned.